Most men miss this completely. Not because women hide it well, but because they don't know what they're looking at. Every woman tests a man, not through direct words, but through subtle behavior. And if you fail to recognize what is really happening beneath the surface, you can lose her interest without ever understanding why. What most men expect is clarity. Something obvious, something spoken out loud, but that is not how desire works. In reality, when a woman begins to feel drawn toward you in a deeper way, she does not announce it. She does not say she is ready or openly express that she wants you. Instead, her actions begin to shift in ways that are quiet yet powerful. And if you pay attention, those actions will reveal everything. These signals are delicate, emotional, and often hidden in small moments that seem meaningless unless you truly understand female psychology. Attraction is rarely loud. It hides in silence, in eye contact, and in the way she behaves when nothing is being said. If you are new to understanding this dynamic, listen closely, because what you are about to learn is not based on assumptions but on patterns that repeat across different personalities, backgrounds, and experiences. Every woman is unique, but when she begins to feel a strong emotional and physical pull toward a man, certain behaviors naturally emerge. These are not learned actions, but instinctive responses driven by biology, psychology, and emotion. Her body often reacts before her mind can control it, and that is where the truth begins to reveal itself. One of the first signs appears in how she exists around you. A woman who feels nothing for you will maintain distance, both physically and emotionally, protecting her energy and space. But when she wants you, that distance begins to close almost unconsciously. She drifts closer, sits nearer than necessary, and even in a group setting, her body slowly aligns toward yours. It is subtle, but it is consistent, and it is driven by something she cannot easily control. This closeness is not just about physical space, it is about comfort. Her voice softens when she speaks to you, her laughter becomes easier, her smile appears faster, and the guarded tension she carries around others begins to fade. Without realizing it, she starts lowering her defenses, allowing you to see a more relaxed, more genuine version of herself. If you have ever noticed this shift, then you have already witnessed the beginning of attraction, even if you did not recognize it at the time. If you have ever noticed that shift in her energy, that quiet change in how she carries herself around you, then you are already seeing the early stages of something deeper forming beneath the surface. And this is where most men misunderstand what desire actually looks like. They expect intensity to be obvious, bold, and undeniable. But real attraction often shows itself in the smallest, most fleeting moments, especially through her eyes. One of the strongest psychological indicators is not a long, confident stare, but the opposite. It is when she looks at you, then quickly looks away, almost as if she revealed too much in a split second. That brief break in eye contact carries more meaning than words ever could because it signals emotional vulnerability, a reaction her mind did not have time to control. Her body begins to communicate in ways that seem random but are actually deeply rooted in instinct. She might glance at your lips while you speak, as if her attention is pulled there without permission. She may lightly bite her own lip, touch her neck, adjust her hair, or trace her collarbone without realizing it. These gestures are not calculated moves. They are subconscious signals triggered by rising attraction. They reflect an internal shift, a moment where her emotional and physical responses begin to align. And if there is one thing you need to understand, it is this. A woman does not open herself physically to a man she does not trust emotionally. For her, intimacy is not just about the body. It is psychological, and it requires a sense of safety that cannot be faked. That is why another powerful sign appears when she begins to share more personal details about her life. Not surface-level conversations, but deeper insights into her fears, past experiences, and insecurities. These are things she does not reveal to just anyone. When she starts opening up in this way, she is not simply talking. She is slowly allowing you into her emotional world, testing whether you can handle what she is about to give. And as this connection deepens, something even more revealing begins to happen. Something that shows she is no longer just reacting to you, but starting to imagine you as part of her reality. And as she begins to imagine you as part of her reality, her behavior shifts in a way that most men completely overlook because it does not come with clear labels or direct statements, yet it carries a powerful message beneath the surface. She starts asking questions that seem casual, but they are not random at all. You might hear her say things like, "Would you ever do this?" Or "What if we?" And it may sound like simple curiosity, but in reality she is testing how you think, how you respond. and whether you fit into the version of the future she is quietly building in her mind. This is not confusion, and it is not small talk. It is evaluation. She is trying to confirm that choosing you would not be a mistake, because women do not allow just anyone into their personal world. These signs remain quiet, almost invisible to the untrained eye, which is why so many men miss them entirely. They wait for something obvious, something direct, but by the time attraction becomes obvious, it is often already fading. When a woman is interested, she expresses it in ways she can still deny with words, but her behavior tells the truth every time. One of the clearest indicators is how her emotional state changes around you. With others, she may appear calm, controlled, or even distant, but with you, there is a noticeable difference. Her tone carries more energy, her reactions feel more alive, and even small interactions seem to affect her more deeply than they should. Sometimes she becomes playful, teasing you in a way that feels personal, or she might suddenly grow quiet and shy without any clear reason. This emotional fluctuation is not randomness. It is a sign that your presence is triggering something real inside her. A woman only becomes slightly nervous around a man who matters to her. If she feels nothing, she remains steady and unaffected. But when attraction is present, her body and emotions begin to move out of sync. She tries to appear confident, but internally, there is tension, excitement, and uncertainty all at once. You may notice small physical reactions as well, like changes in her breathing, the way her posture shifts, or how her eyes respond when you get closer. These are not controlled behaviors. They are instinctive responses that reveal more than anything she could say, and they mark the moment where interest begins turning into something much deeper. And when that deeper shift begins to take hold, her behavior starts revealing something even more direct, something that moves beyond emotion and into physical expression, but still in a subtle and controlled way. This is where many men either misread the situation or hesitate at the wrong moment, because the signals are not loud, yet they are incredibly intentional. One of the clearest signs is how she begins to create small, almost accidental moments of physical contact. A light brush of her hand against yours, adjusting your collar, fixing something on your wrist, or letting her fingers linger just a second longer than necessary. These touches are not random. They are her way of testing proximity, testing comfort, and most importantly, testing you. A woman does not casually touch a man she feels nothing for. Physical contact, even in the smallest form, carries meaning because it allows her to feel your presence in a more real way. She is not just reacting anymore, she is exploring what it feels like to be closer to you. Through these small interactions, she is measuring your response, your energy, and whether you make her feel safe enough to continue. And as this connection builds, something important begins to change on an emotional level. She starts lowering her ego around you. She forgives small things more easily. She smiles even when slightly annoyed. And your opinion begins to matter to her more than it logically should. This is where trust starts to form, not through words but through behavior. A woman does not allow a man's perspective to influence her unless she respects him. And if she is letting you guide conversations, decisions, or even the tone of your interactions, she is silently showing you that she values your presence in a deeper way. But here is where things can become confusing for many men. As her attraction grows stronger, her behavior may become inconsistent. One moment she is warm, engaged, and open, and the next she seems distant or withdrawn. This is not a loss of interest. It is the opposite. It is the internal conflict between her desire and her fear. She may pull away briefly, only to return even closer than before. This push and pull dynamic is not random behavior. It is one of the clearest psychological signs that she is struggling to manage feelings that are becoming too strong to ignore. And when those feelings become too strong to ignore, her behavior begins to reveal a deeper level of attention, one that goes far beyond surface attraction and moves into emotional investment. This is the stage where she starts observing you more carefully than anyone else does. Not in an obvious way, but in a quiet, focused manner that most men completely miss. She watches how you react to situations, what makes you frustrated, what makes you calm, how you handle pressure, and how you treat others. This is not curiosity for entertainment. It is her way of understanding whether you are someone she can truly trust on a deeper level. A woman cannot fully open herself to a man she does not understand. So before she gives more of herself, she studies you without announcing it. You might catch her looking at you when she thinks you are not paying attention, and in that moment her expression is different. It is not just admiration, it is focus, as if she is trying to memorize who you are. Women observe the men they desire in a way that is both emotional and instinctive, because they are not only attracted to your appearance, they are drawn to your depth. And when she starts recognizing that depth in you, her defenses begin to fall piece by piece. This is when another powerful shift takes place. She begins to anticipate your presence rather than simply enjoy it. She checks her phone more often, responds quicker than usual, and remembers even the smallest details you mention in conversation. Your words stay with her, replaying in her mind long after the interaction ends, and without directly saying it, she starts adjusting herself when she knows she will see you. She fixes her hair, pays attention to how she looks, straightens her posture, and becomes more intentional with her appearance. This is not about general confidence, it is specific to you. She wants to be seen by the one she desires. At the same time, a quieter but equally powerful sign begins to show itself. She becomes slightly jealous, not in a dramatic or obvious way, but through subtle changes in her tone, her expressions, or a brief silence when another woman enters the conversation. Jealousy at this stage is not insecurity. It is emotional investment revealing itself in a form she is still trying to control. And as that emotional investment deepens, everything about her begins to align in a way that is no longer accidental, but still not openly declared, because this is the stage where desire becomes undeniable, even if it is never spoken out loud. Her reactions to you grow more sensitive, more instinctive, especially when it comes to physical presence. The smallest touches begin to carry more weight. When your hand brushes hers or you guide her gently through a space, she does not pull away. Instead, she allows the contact to continue, sometimes even leaning into it without realizing. That is not just comfort, that is silent permission. Her body is no longer resisting the closeness, it is accepting it. Her voice begins to change as well. It becomes softer, slower, more intentional, as if every word is being chosen with care. This is not simple flirting, it is vulnerability expressing itself in a controlled way. A woman only becomes this gentle when she feels emotionally safe. She may tease you lightly, open up to you, or show emotional depth without ever crossing into disrespect. This balance is important because it shows that she trusts you with her emotional state. And once that trust is established, everything else begins to follow naturally. You may also notice moments of silence between you that feel comfortable rather than awkward. She does not rush to fill the space with conversation. She is content simply being near you, existing in your presence without pressure. That kind of silence is powerful because it means her guard is completely down. She no longer feels the need to impress or protect herself. Instead, she starts asking deeper, more personal questions about your beliefs, your emotions, and your past. She is not being curious for the sake of it. She is trying to understand whether you are someone she can fully open herself to. And when all of these signs come together, there is one final truth you need to understand. A woman who is ready will not need to say it. She will make time for you, prioritize you, and create opportunities to be close to you. Her actions will speak louder than anything she could ever say. If you recognize these signs, then you already know what is happening. So if this opened your eyes and helped you understand attraction on a deeper level, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because the more you understand, the more you see what others miss. In the end, a woman's true feelings are never spoken loudly. They are revealed through subtle actions, quiet signals, and emotional shifts. Learn to notice them, and you'll understand attraction on a deeper level most men never reach.